Greetings all, and welcome to yet another episode of What the Fuck Is A reborG podcast. I'm reborG, back at it again. Boy's back in the house. Quick update on him. Right now, he chilling, living the doggy life. He got a little sick last couple of days. My nephew was, he had made something to eat. I want to say it was like some ground pork sausage or something like that, and he just gave the leftovers to boy. I guess it must have been the grease or something. Something didn't agree with his stomach, and he was fucked up, walking around the house throwing up, and things of that nature. And when he throws up in the house, I don't get mad or anything like that, but he does get scared, and he gets a little worried, like, man, he gonna beat my ass over this shit. But I don't beat his ass over that stuff, like throwing up in the house, because he ain't got no control over that, and neither one of us knows when the fuck he's gonna do it. It ain't like he can talk, so I just cleaned it up. I got a nice little water-based cleaner. I ain't gonna shout him out because I can't even remember what the fuck it is. So it's been working pretty well. Just follow the instructions, spray, leave for a couple of minutes, come back and wipe it up. It's coming out good. Carpet doesn't look as bad. And the fact that I work for Stanley Steamer, that's one of the little tidbits that has helped. And probably maybe in the next month or a couple of weeks, I'm going to go ahead and get it cleaned by Stanley Steamer, get my carpet clean, get some of them stains, not clean, but have my carpet looking uniform. And I ain't going to say new, because this is apartment carpet, and apartment carpet is shit. Plain and simple. That big ass sniffle came from a nigga being sick. I just got over a common cold and stuff like that, and my common colds usually last about 3 or 4 days, but this one was kind of weird, and I want to call out the person that got me sick, my boy Goo. Make sure you know what's going on in somebody's house before you crash over there or something like that. Because I usually visit him and his peoples every, week and a half, every 2 weeks. I go through there and kick it with him. I fuck with his family. They got a nice, it's a good place to kick it. He got the kicking spot, for real. Even with his kids and his nieces and nephews coming through, his brothers and his mom and his girl being there. Even with all the people there, it's still a cool place, and I enjoy going there. But this fool... this fool, he had the nerve to have a fucking AC on, and it's been cold in Virginia since the 20th of December, real cold, 40 and below. It's been cold like that for a minute, and a week and a half ago I was over there. He had the AC on, a ceiling fan, and a personal fan, a space fan, pointed at him, and it was cold as shit, and I should have bundled up and kept all my clothes on when I did fall asleep, but I don't like to sleep with a jacket on and stuff like that, and if I fall asleep somewhere, I gotta take off my socks. I can't sleep with socks on. I can nap my ass off in socks, but as far as getting a whole night's sleep, I can't do it, and I got sick. It came about 2 days later, and it ain't no big deal. Just go, I eat top ramen, oodles and noodles, mention whatever the fuck. I eat noodles, and I make sure I get heavy on the sriracha or the hot sauce, and it's usually chicken flavor, because something about the chicken flavoring in the broth clears up in my nasal passages and things of that nature. Take the Tylenol cold and flu, and give me some orange juice or something with some vitamin C, 3-4 days. Knock that shit out, be good to go. Because I'm only really sick with a stuffy nose and shit like that for 2 days. The third and fourth day is usually that post-nasal drip when you got to clear your throat all the time and stuff. But that's just me. That's how it goes. So it's been a minute. I meant to record for a while now. And between work and getting sick and just life, just doing shit, other things take precedent before that. So it's been a minute. Probably haven't recorded since before Christmas. Christmas was cool. Got some good stuff. Things that I actually needed. And since we talking about Christmas, and I don't give a fuck anyway, I'll tell you about my best Christmas. It was the Christmas. I can't remember the year. I was 8 years old, and usually, every now and again, I could finagle the bagel and get my parents to let me open up one gift before I go to bed. Didn't do it every year, but every now and again, I would try it. And, I was about 50%. So this year, they actually let me try it. And whatever the box was, I picked the biggest box. And it was this ugly-ass orange raincoat that I had just went to the store with the week before with my mother and picked it out. And I was salty as hell. I went to bed salty as fuck. First of all, I didn't like this orange raincoat anyway. I didn't like the look of it. Orange was too... I've never been a big fan of orange as far as me wearing it clothes. I will have it as, like some lettering or something. But the whole fucking raincoat was orange. It was bright as fuck. I didn't like it. Went to bed salty as fuck. I went to bed and I woke up the next morning and I was fucking blown away. My dad had the Genesis laid out on the floor with the controllers. I thought he might have been setting it up for me like that, but this asshole was playing before. He was playing the shit all night, because that's what my parents would do. Wait for us to go to bed and then wrap gifts and things like that while we were asleep. And then the next morning shit'll be lit. But that one was lit. And we had Streets of Rage. Had to have a Sonic. We had Madden. I think we had Bulls versus Blazers. Triple play baseball, FIFA. It was fucking lit. And that's just my favorite Christmas, because I woke up to some songs. We had the Joe Montana Sports Talk football. That shit was it was live. And me and him just played the whole damn day. And it was just joyous. I can't remember any other fucking gifts I got, because I did get a lot of gifts during that time. Around 8 years old, yeah, that's the gift time. But the Sega Genesis was fucking lit. And it won't we didn't have video games. We had a Nintendo and shit like that. I've had my share of systems growing up. I already went through that in the pod, but that was sauce. But this year's Christmas was pretty cool. 35 years old. I'm old. I really don't give a fuck about Christmas. Now, I'll hook up some younger, my little cousins and my niece and stuff like that. Mom's grandma, I hook them up every now and again. But, sometimes my mom said, just don't get me nothing. My mom, my sister, my pops, they just said, don't get them nothing. And hey, I've always followed directions, so I didn't get them shit. So... I hooked up my uncles, my grandma, my niece definitely, and my first cousin's kids, because I fuck with them and I fuck with her like that, so I hooked them up. So I got my niece a Monster hot dog. I don't know shit about it. She had asked about it, and this was the weird thing that happened. The only place I could find it was Amazon, and I bought one, and they told me I wasn't going to get it till the 26th or the 27th. So immediately I already told my niece and my sister that, yeah, she would either get it, I told her the 28th, because I think the 28th or 29th, because that was that Friday, and that's when I was going to have the time to bring it to her. And lo and behold, on Christmas Eve, after I went and hung out with my pops on Christmas Eve, and when I came home, the package was at the doorstep. And that was fucking crazy. And ironically, I don't know how, but Amazon sent 2 of them. And I didn't give her both. I just gave her the one. I don't even know what to do with the second one. I was looking to give it to somebody. I haven't found anyone. Might just throw the shit back on Amazon or something like that. But it showed up Christmas Eve, and it was 2 of them. I checked my account to make sure I didn't double purchase or hit the button twice or nothing like that. Now, I actually paid for 1 and got 2, so... Shout out to Amazon for that shit. And good luck, Bezos, or whatever the fucking name is, because I heard he going through a divorce, and shorty going to get the bag. It'll probably be some news that we'll talk about later. But Christmas was lit. And usually for Christmas, my family, we usually go to my grandmother's house. But grandma 83 years old, and she just don't like people around her house like that no more. You can come individually for a nice visit, come by, grandma make you a plate. I got one of those grandmas there's always some food ready whenever you go over there. Grandma gonna find something to give you. She'll when you leave grandma's house, you're gonna have a plate, maybe a bag of fruit, a bowl of soup or something like that. You go get some food from grandma's house. My grandma's house. Shout out to Helen B. My grandma. You gonna get something when you go over there. But lately she hasn't let, as far as the holidays go. And my aunt threw, we had Christmas dinner over there. But it was a twist. She wanted to do a brunch. And I thought she was just trying to throw a curveball, have a little twist with it or whatever. No. Come to find out, she just wanted to hurry up and get the shit over with so she could take a nap so she could go out that night. Which is fucking hysterical. That's funny as hell. So I thought that was fucking hilarious. So shout out to my Aunt Denise, man. That was funny as hell. Props to you. And it was pretty good, man. I made grits. People ate them, whoever ate grits. I know it's an acquired taste, and I put salt, pepper, and butter in mine. And I know a lot of people put sugar in theirs. I can't put sugar in my grits. I just don't like the taste of it. Can't do it. But they did that. My mom made salmon cakes, and people fucked up them salmon cakes. My mama was lying, talking about she made 20-something salmon cakes. She did not make 20 salmon cakes. She made like 8. And they fucked them up, and I ain't even getting that. And I was salty as fuck, because my mama's salmon cakes are good. I grew up eating them. That and some scrambled eggs with some cheese. I've been smacking that for years. So not to get that, I was salty. Okay. And I made biscuits, butter biscuits. They fucked them up. I ain't get to take them home. And I bought juice or whatever. But it was cool. Christmas was alright, My grandma hooked me up with drawers and sweatpants and a sweat jacket and stuff like that. Whenever it's time for your birthday or Christmas, my grandma is going to hook you up with whatever you need. She don't even have to ask. If you feel yourself getting low on drawers, because I said to myself the week before Christmas, I said, damn, I'm going to have to buy some drawers. I only got like 8 pair right now. Lo and behold, 2 5-packs of drawers. So now I got 18 pairs of drawers. Probably 20 if I actually go through my laundry and comb through the shit. And I'm talking about actual wearable pairs of drawers, no holes or nothing like that. Cause I can't speak for other dudes, but if I got a hole in my drawers, I will wear them. But I've been getting off that as I've gotten older, and it's all about the comfort now. So shout out to Grandma again for hooking my black ass up for Christmas. New Year's was lit. Went over my homie Justo's house. Get used to the name. He will be in some future pods. He had a nice thing going on with him and his family. He's Goo's cousin, the nigga that got me sick, Goo. Him and Justo are cousins. So I went over there and chilled out. And when we left about 1:30, my other friend, Rome, shout out to Rome, real good friend of mine, called me over there to go over to his crib, and we kicked it like that, and had some good laughs. Because if you're gonna go around Rome, you gonna laugh. I'm talking about that crying laugh. That's just how we do. And the day after we went to, God damn it, I can't even remember the name of the place, but on New Year's Day, we went to the Egg Bistro. In what part of Virginia, I can't fucking remember. But it was good. I enjoyed myself. I had eggs Benedict with the crab cake. Yummy. And if you're in the Virginia area, which most of my fans probably are, at least about 95%, go ahead and take a trip, man. Then take some people with you, man. Don't just eat good ass food by yourself, man. Take family and friends, inform them, and indulge, with others, like-minded people. Enjoy the fellowship. All right, but it's always a good time. What the hell else we got going on? Boy's birthday is next week, and I'm a corny ass dog owner. I'm gonna try to find him some shit. Probably this weekend we gonna get him his little haircut. He gonna get trimmed up so he can be saucy for the bitches on his birthday. So, and that's not offensive because that's what female dogs are, and that is what he likes. So we can continue. Boy gonna be clean for the bitches, and I'm gonna try to find him like a cake or some type of doggy snack to hook him up, because that'll work. In his stomach this morning, it was official. He took a good shit this morning, and he finally ate the rice. I made Boy some rice. And there's something about this asshole. He don't like for you to look at him eat. And I'm not, I'm not the type to look at him while he eats and no silly shit like that. But if I put some food in his bowl, I'll stand there for about a minute to see if he eats it. And he ain't gonna eat the shit because he don't even want you around. Bobo will wait till I go to sleep or go boo-boo or go to work, and then that's when he'll eat. But he finally ate the rice, calmed his stomach down, took a good shit this morning, so he's sauce, and he'll be ready for his 10th birthday next week, which is 70 years and dog years, which is cool, man. I wish him more, man. That's the homie, and I'll be the first to say it. I'ma cry like a baby back bitch when he gone. Probably said it once. I'ma continue to say the shit just so y'all not surprised if you catch me on this podcast crying, because that might be one of the reasons, because my nigga is gone. That is the fucking homie. But go ahead with our topics. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the NFL. Just a little quick whips about the wild card round, and the divisionals was just done. So let me just go ahead and get the wild card ones out the way. Chargers Ravens was a decent game. I really want them to open up the playbook and let Lamar Jackson take some chances. You gotta bring the offense along because the defense is so good. Like, let the kid take some chances, man. It just seems like they got him just boxed up. You know, we don't want you to mess up. But, I mean, you're not going to win the fucking Super Bowl this year with him. You should have just let the shit fly. Chargers, decent team. Put in that good work. Did what they were supposed to. The Colts beat the Texans with some old school football. Smash mouth and strong defense. The Texans line was fully exposed. And so was their linebackers on the defensive side. And when Quentin Nelson did Jadeveon Clowney dirty, he pancaked the shit out of homie. It wasn't a good look. Dallas gave Seattle their own medicine. Same thing. Smash mouth football. It was a good game. Philly and Chicago. Poor little Parkey. Mr. Field Goal. You know. But the good thing about that, Parkey, only fans are going to remember are yours. The public, we going to forget. Because somebody else going to fuck up in between that time. So you good. You know, I didn't give Chicago much of a chance. I thought they were going to be 8-8, 9-7 type team. Got to learn how to win. But they on the upswing. Team look out for in the future. All right, now let's get to the real deal. The shit that was played this weekend. Colts and Chiefs. Ironically, the Chiefs defense woke the fuck up. And it was crazy. I know D Ford and is it Houston? Justin Houston? They both of them had double-digit sacks, but outside of them two, the defense don't have that much to be desired. And for them to play that good of a football game, even with Eric Berry hurt, was, kudos to them. And Andy Reid ran the ball. Damian Williams had about 26 carries. They actually gave the Colts a dose of their own medicine with smash mouth football. I don't even think Mahomes threw a touchdown. And it was good to see Andy Reid finally do that. Because sometimes he, lets go of the run, gets too damn pass happy, and the shit hasn't worked in his favor a lot. Okay? Shout out to the Chiefs. The game after that was the Rams versus the Cowboys. The Rams did the same damn thing. Smashed my football. They ran right at Dallas's strong defense and didn't give a fuck. Man on man, y'all can't fuck with us. And they proved it. And Goff didn't do a whole lot passing wise either, which shows how good of a coach Sean McVay is. And shout out to Wade Phillips as the defensive coordinator, because he knew what I knew he had the game plan. He knew the personnel and all that shit. I mean, shout out to players because they make it happen. But shout out to the coaches that put the game plan down, because they held Ezekiel Elliott to about 46 yards. And they put the ball in Dak's hands and said, you got to do some spectacular shit to beat us. And that ain't his field right now. So they squeezed out the dub on that one. Good game to watch. Pats Chargers. Well, goddamn, Phillip Rivers. You've never beaten Tom Brady, and you never will. Fuck it. Maybe you get in the punter and the throwing contest with these bullshit ass skills challenge. But Brady won't be there. He'll probably be in the bowl. But it was just an ugly game. The Chargers didn't look like they knew what the fuck was going on, and it really didn't look like it wasn't a good game. The other three games were good games, even though Dallas, they didn't get thoroughly dominated. It just seemed like they just didn't have that little extra oomph to get over the hump to get the Rams, because the Rams were in control the whole game. But this Patriots Chargers Whew, I'm terrific. And I put them in the bowl, and I've said it before, until they lose, they at the Super Bowl. All right, plain and simple. And Saints, Eagles, a lot of people, you can't blame Alshon Jeffrey for missing that pass and, it getting picked off and stuff like that. The Philly played like shit from the second quarter on. Second, third, and fourth quarter, we didn't know what the hell was going on. The defense put up a good effort. Shout out to the defense. Because they've had a lot of injuries in the secondary. And it showed because nobody could cover Michael Thomas, but they kept from getting fucked up out there. But that offense just sputtered, man, from the second quarter on. And it just didn't work like that. And the same thing with the Saints. They switched their game up and said, we're going to take our time and, run the ball a little more. It just, for the Chiefs, the Rams, and the Saints to dial back on the offense and still get the victory shows good coaching. And shows that you don't have to score 40, 50 points to get this win. In the NFL, a win's a win. You can say whatever the fuck you want about how it was, how they went about getting it, but they don't give a fuck. As long as they can get the win and keep injuries on the minimum, they good. So we got Pats and Chiefs, who had a good game on Sunday night in the regular season. Mahomes started out slow and they paid for it. You can't let the Patriots are not a team that you're going to be coming from behind to beat like that. You got to be in striking distance the whole time to get them. But that should be interesting to see. Because I want to know what angle Andy Reid is going to take to try to get this dub. Because it's going to be a tough one. Even with the Patriots on the road, I don't count them out. Period. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And Saints, Rams, we'll see. Because a lot of people probably expecting a 49-42 game, 56-49 game. I'm not expecting it. The defenses are more respectable than people give them credit for. They both got good defensive coordinators. Shout out to Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator for the Saints. Because the Raiders did them dirty as hell. I don't think you should be firing coaches after 1 year. At least give them a chance. Fuck. But we shall see, man. Like, I don't have any predictions or anything of that nature because that just ain't what I do. I enjoy the game, and I enjoy watching it. And I'm hoping for a very exciting conference championship weekend. And since we're talking about coaches, let's go ahead and talk about how the fuck did Adam Gase get a job? Were the Dolphins ever really that good under him? Really? I'm not particularly sure. And for the Jets to hire him, just like, who fucking knows, man? Like, I don't get the shit at all. Like, if somebody shouldn't have got a job, it wasn't him. I understood. Todd Bowles didn't get it done. He had to go. Only coach I didn't understand that got fired was Steve Wilkes from Arizona. He only had 1 year, and they don't have a roster for you to write home about. They stunk all across the board, and they hired Cliff Kingsbury, and that's weird because he didn't even dominate college yet. He ain't even had a great college season yet, and for him to get the pro job, that's crazy. Don't know what the fuck is up with that one, but we shall see because he's already talking about, he said early in the college football season, if he was an NFL team, he'd take Kyler Murray with the number 1 pick. And that's what we're going to shimmy into next. There's a little Kyler Murray. You know what? Let's go to the college portion first, and then we'll get to Kyler Murray because I think it'll fit in better. The college football playoffs happened, and Notre Dame got their ass whooped yet again. I don't know, of course people want expansion. Of course people want more games in the playoffs and shit like that. And you could be able to, sponsor it with the rest of the bowls and things of that nature, just like you do when it's just 4 teams. You could do the same when it's 8, 10, 12, 20, as many as you want to go. So, Notre Dame went out there and got their ass whooped by Clemson. it was disgusting. I mean, I really saw it coming. I wanted to give Notre Dame a chance, but after watching them throughout the year, I knew that they were not ready for that big time. Now, if it was any other team, they might have had some hope. But as far as the other three that were in the playoffs, nah, I ain't see this shit happen. And it went exactly the way I thought it would. The Oklahoma-Alabama game, I didn't think that Alabama would. Yes, it did. It went exactly the way I thought it would. I knew the defense would only have to make a couple. I knew Alabama's defense would only have to make a couple of plays and hold Oklahoma to a couple of field goals or non-score drives. And then they were going to be fine because everybody knows Oklahoma's defense is damn near non-existent. So they've just been ass all year. So, and I ain't have a problem with Oklahoma getting in. They won the conference. They avenged their only loss, and that loss wasn't. The loss doesn't seem as bad. It wasn't bad at all because Texas ended up beating Georgia, and Purdue ended up getting fucked up, and that's who Ohio State lost to. So they're actually right by. They actually made a better decision by putting Oklahoma in the game instead of Ohio State. Now the game, Kyler Murray was running for his life. I figured it went the way I thought it would, and the opening rounds they won't all that. Now the championship, fuck, I definitely didn't see that shit coming, cause I had been waiting. We praised Trevor Lawrence in this podcast, but I was waiting for him to look like a freshman, and god damn it, he still hasn't. I mean, there will be a time he will struggle and not put up great numbers. I guess the only time he did look like a freshman, what was it, the South Carolina game or something like that, where he got hurt and the backup had to come in. But Trevor Lawrence, man, he got next, man. Fuck it. He's coming back. The receivers are coming back. ETN is coming back. The only thing, they just have to shore up their interior because it's an NFL caliber defensive line, and Alabama saw every bit of that. And, they have a lot of, upperclassmen. Mitch Hyatt, who's the left tackle, one of the best I've seen in college football, because in his 4 years of playing, he's been to 3 championships, has won one, and he has been to all the playoffs. He has 2 championships, appeared in another game, and it was in the semifinals the year last season. So if you're a left tackle, which I think is an important position in football, and for you to have that type of credentials, it shows a lot. And he'll probably get shitted on, and the NFL will find some way to say he's not good enough. He'll fall to the 3rd or 4th round, but I think you should give him a chance, because it looks like if you coach him up, then guess what? You can have a very solid player over there. And Tua looked normal. He finally looked normal. The pick 6 was a mistake on his account, so I didn't think they were going to lose at that point. After halftime, that drive after halftime, because the only way they were really able to move the ball outside of the first quarter was the run, but they had already been down by so much. And let's not try to act like just 4 years ago Ohio State beat Alabama in a nice fashion. Okay, they beat Alabama. Zeke fucked them up. So let's not act like Bama hasn't lost. They don't lose a lot. They don't lose a little bit, but they have taken slugs. For those of you who watch college football, Nick Saban's first BCS, our first bowl game with Alabama, they lost to Utah. So I'm not surprised by it. I'm not surprised at them losing because they played a talented team. Clemson's good as shit. Don't look at Alabama and say what's wrong. Praise Clemson, because it's fucking sauce over there. And you figure Dexter Lawrence goofy ass was suspended, so they was missing somebody from that vaulted defensive line, and they still put in that work. So, and they'll be back. I call it now. Alabama, I don't know about championships because you never know, but they'll be in the playoffs again. They probably have a number 1 recruiting class right now, and they'll be fucking back. So it's not like, don't cry for me, Argentina. They'll be fine. Same thing with Clemson. I don't know about championship because I can't call it yet, and you never know what happens in the season, but they'll be back in the playoffs. They bring in enough talent. Dabo Swinney, he got it. He got a clutch on it right now. And the fact that they're able to keep Brent Venables there, wow, I don't know. Because usually when you that good of a coordinator, they usually get you the fuck out of there. Somebody hires you, somebody going to throw the bag at you. Kind of like Kirby Smart did for Alabama. He coached a strong defense for long enough, and somebody gave him a head coaching job. But Brent Venables act like he don't want to go no damn where. Kind of like how Bud Foster was for Frank Beamer for Virginia Tech in like the mid 2000s. Virginia Tech had that type of, saucy defense, and he never left. So, and speaking of coaches, my beloved Miami Hurricanes, Mark Richt fucking retired, and I don't know what the fuck is going on over there. Okay, now I'm gonna apologize to all the Temple Owl fans because Manny Diaz was the coach for 2 days, day and a half, or something like that. And Miami took him right back, and he fired every offensive coach that Miami had. And I can't knock him for it because Miami's offense was just horrible. It was not pretty to look at. And right now I can say he's just stepping in the right direction. As far as recruiting's dead. Because unless you're bringing in a bigger name or one of those names that the kids are accustomed to, and really, want to already play for, it's going to be tough to get those recruits in there. And I think Manny Diaz has a chance. He's from Miami. He has a lot of ties to the school. But one thing that Miami has to do is get with the times, okay? Mark Richt got the ball rolling by solidifying Miami Stadium as the Hard Rock Cafe Stadium. That's one thing, because Miami needed a home. After the Orange Bowl got tore down like that, it was too public. It's not a stadium that you could call your own, and it still really isn't their stadium. I don't think so, because I think other people use it, but they have solidified a stadium. They finally got the school to buy an indoor facility, and that's fucking great, because when you have that indoor facility, practice is practice, and don't nobody look. You can't get out of practice. The weather don't mean shit because we got this facility, and I think that it's just that Miami has to get with the times. Of course, colleges pay players. We know this shit, but it's a lot of the other things: the uniform, the facility, the position coaches, the dorms, what your weight room looks like. All of this shit factors in at different points, and they all have a place that's important to a recruit. And Miami lacks at that shit. The only thing we can pull up is NFL pedigree, and that can only get you so far. But shout out to Manny Diaz. I like that, it was somebody that it was proven that they could do some things because the defense was still good. Brought the turnover chain, brought a whole lot of the, appeal back to Miami, especially on the defensive side. They just got to get this offense straight. But as I always say, it's a wait and see game. Still in college, Kyler Murray. Hey, I figured I kind of like when they just kept talking about him and putting the NFL in the conversation. I said they're getting ready to talk this dude into being a first round pick. And I'm not saying he's not a first-round pick, but I didn't really think that he was going to play football or anything like that because he had already signed like the $5 million signing bonus and everything. Spring training ain't that far away, so, I figured, he would just go play baseball. But they talked it up, and, he wants to try it because rookie contracts in the NFL are higher than the ones in baseball, and it's because one of the reasons I see is because in the NFL, if you get drafted in the first round, we want you to play now. In baseball, wherever the fuck you get drafted, you still got to go to the minor leagues. And it's not until you can prove yourself in the minor leagues, then we'll bring you in, And football, like, hell no. First round, we bring your ass here. You've already proved to us that we want you to play. And he'll make more money because they talking about him being the number 1 overall pick. Arizona hired Cliff Kingsbury, and he already said he would take him with the number 1 pick. So Josh Rosen might be the fuck out of there. So you don't know. And the A's have went to Major League Baseball and asked, is it possible that they could offer him more money? Because apparently they went to his crib and had a meeting with him like a day ago. And it's kind of an interesting thing, you know. I just want to see. Shout out to the kid. I wish him all the best, man. Because if he goes number 1 overall, he will definitely be the shortest quarterback drafted in the number 1 overall. Fuck it, he might be in the first round. But shout out to the kid, man. I wish him all the best. Make it happen. I've seen other players fuck this up, like Drew Henson, the old Michigan quarterback, for y'all that remember. And, you know, to see Kyler Murray make this happen, go ahead, man. Get that bag, bro. And sticking with football, the high school all-star football games was last weekend, this past week or whatever. And they're cool. They're fun to watch. You know, it's good to see kids, you know, where they're going to commit and things like that. I don't read a whole lot into it every now and again. Because every now and again, you may see a player that stands out. And you're like, damn, like, this is an all-star game. All y'all supposed to be good. All y'all supposed to be the shit. But some people just stand out, you know. And I didn't see it this year. I didn't see it from any game, the Under Armour game or the Army game. And this is not to say that these kids won't be sauce next year. No, I'm just saying I didn't see anything from them in this game. And like I said, it's enjoyable to watch. Whole bunch of commitments. Alabama just keeps bringing them in. Oklahoma got a lot of good wide receivers coming in and a decent athletic. Oklahoma looks like it's getting ready to be the place for athletic quarterbacks. Like, if you got some wheels on you, y'all can make it happen. And speaking of quarterbacks, Justin Fields, the backup quarterback for Georgia. Now, I said on this podcast, I don't know why in the hell he committed to go to Georgia. Because he was not going to play. Jake Fromm led the team to the championship. And if it wasn't for the miracle of Tua last season, he would already be a champ. As a true freshman, he would have already done. It wouldn't have been as big of a story for Trevor Lawrence to do the shit if Drake Fromm was that close to making this shit happen. And it wasn't because of him that they took the slug. So, what makes you think that you gonna outplay this guy or wish injury upon him? Because that's the only thing you can do. It sounds fucked up, but hey, I guess you got to get on the field. Like, what made you think that you was going to take his spot? And then it comes out that he wanted to transfer to Ohio State. Why the fuck didn't you just go there from the beginning? Why the fuck didn't you just pick the school that you knew that you were going to be able to play at quickly with no problem? Come on, guys. I know it ain't no high school athletes and none of that shit listening to it, but in the future, man, y'all just know what the fuck y'all doing. You know what the fuck you know what you're looking for in your program. You know what you want to get from the program. You know if you want to start, you know what number you want to wear, what type of offense you want to run, what kind of receivers you got. Is the line good? Just actually take those things into account and make some smarter decisions. Because it was a waste of time for him. He could have already been at the school displaying some sauce already. Easily. He could have already been somewhere putting in that work. And it is not like he couldn't have went anywhere. Miami needs a quarterback. Florida was scrambling for a quarterback. Florida State looks ass right now. They need something. Probably could have started at LSU. Michigan. I mean, Shea Patterson's there, but he hasn't looked extraordinary. Shit, USC just started a quarterback who should still be in fucking high school right now. Washington looked like they could have used him instead of Jake Browning. Texas, Ellinger, you're good. But hey, if we got a chance to pull in a talent like Justin Fields, I mean, hey. You know? And it was funny because right after he said he was going to Ohio State, I caught him at the Ohio State-Michigan State basketball game sitting with Urban Meyer. So it was smart for Ohio State to keep Urban Meyer there. Probably going to be like the recruiting. He's going to be handling recruiting while the coach gets to take the credit. But like I said, kids, just know what the fuck you doing when you're getting into this shit, okay? you know you want to start all 4 years. Trevor Lawrence knew that he was going to start in front of Kelly Bryant. He just knew it. I even said it. I just felt it. Because Kelly Bryant was just he was just so mediocre and unspectacular the prior season, that all I knew is somebody went out there and challenged him, it would be a wrap for him. And fuck if it wasn't. So, and speaking of going to the wrong school, we're going to dabble into this college basketball. Shout out to Cam Reddish. I'm sorry Zion had to get hurt for you to finally discover who you are as a basketball player, because you had been playing like shit before and you knew you weren't a spot-up shooter. Why the fuck did you even go to Duke? I've already discussed this, but it was good to see the kid play. It was good to see Coach K have confidence in him to call plays for him and to continue to go to him, not even knowing, what the results would come, because he still could have been a brick mason. And I had Duke beating Florida State because Leonard Hamilton's a fuck up. Plain and simple. He just continuously is fucking up when it comes to the big game. And the lack of star power and things of that nature, it just comes along with it. I still don't know how he's been able to coach this long. Good coach, but won't get you over that proverbial hump. And with college basketball, Duke looks like they can make it happen. Sorry. Barring any real injuries, it looks like they can make it happen. UVA is having a great year. Tony Bennett's a great, extraordinary defensive coach. But let's not forget, they were the first and only number 1 seed to lose to a 16 seed. And they didn't do shit last year. Now, granted, DeAndre Hunter was hurt, and he's back and playing good ball. So I just want to see, come tournament time, what are they going to have in store. Tennessee looks pretty good. I probably said this last part. They're only missing, star potential. And see, that's what gets those teams to that championship level. It's some star potential. That one player that you can give the ball to, know he'll get a bucket, or even play strong defense and get that important rebound, because defense isn't over until that rebound is grabbed. Like Anthony Davis for Kentucky the year that they won. He wasn't the number 1 scoring option or the number 1 scoring leader, but every time, when they needed a bucket, he scored it. When they didn't need the other team to score, he was there protecting that rim or grabbing that rebound, making the proper switches. So if Tennessee can get that, sir, boy, sir. All right, we back. Bobo was in there tripping. Somebody walked up the steps. Ain't even gonna knock on the damn door. He in here barking. You ain't gonna bite shit. They'll pet you and it's all fucking over. You asshole of a security dog. Okay, but back to Tennessee. Tennessee, get that star player there and make it happen. Shout out to Michigan. Beeline's doing his thing. Same thing I said beforehand. And I think Gonzaga's the other. No, they're not. They right outside the top. I think they're 7. In draft news, Kevin Porter for USC got suspended. Kid's still picking the wrong schools, man. He got suspended indefinitely, so we'll bring your ass back when we feel like it. Now, we don't know the story. We won't find out until draft time, so that's how the fuck that's going to go. But Kevin Porter's a very talented offensive player, man, and I think his game will translate well to the pros if he gets the ball. Baseball news, Manny Machado and Bryce Harper are about to get that bag. Like Giancarlo Stanton last year, getting paid untold fortunes. These two will also. Mind you, neither one of them haven't won an MVP in about 3 years. So, I don't even think they were that high in the voting either. So, shout out to them. Get that bag. But I'm more interested to see, the previous MVPs, like Altuve for the Astros, or Kershaw. I think he already got the big bag, but it might be time for him to come up with another one. Same thing with Verlander, Mookie Betts, Mike Trout. If you're going to pay Bryce Harper or Manny Machado $350+ million, and Bryce probably get up to $400 million, the fuck did you pay Mike Trout? Because he's definitely better than him. So let's go ahead and flash that baggery. Let's see what goes down with that one. In boxing news, Manny Pacquiao is fighting Adrien Broner this weekend. Interesting fight to watch, and I will be watching, taking a gander. But who gives a fuck, man? And why the fuck is this fight on pay-per-view? Ain't neither one of them champions no more, man. We don't give a shit, just like I didn't give a shit about Floyd with the kickboxer. And a lot of people said that shit was faulty. I haven't looked up highlights or anything. Really don't give a shit. But this fight, it's unfair that shit is on pay-per-view. Why? Why? These two aren't the number one draws in boxing anymore. I don't know. Pacquiao may be for like a certain group of people, but I know. I know that he isn't the number one draw in boxing right now. He can't be. And Broner, everybody wrote you the fuck off after El Chino whooped that ass. So I'ma peep it, see what comes of it. Hope it's a good fight. Another news I saw on ESPN where Jerry Rice says Antonio Brown wants to be a Niner. He said he talked to him and said he can't wait to go work out with Jerry Rice and things of that nature. I don't know where Jerry grabbing this from, but it really doesn't matter what the fuck he wants. It's all based on what Pittsburgh wants to do. So that's another one of those wait and see type things because we don't fucking know. We don't even know what's going to come to it. Don't even know Bell. I think Bell's going to be a free agent, so they don't have to worry about that anymore. And the Brown thing, who the fuck knows and what the fuck they're going to do. Basketball in the NBA, All-Star votes came out. I like Luka Doncic. Hell of a basketball player. Gonna be Rookie of the Year. But to sit here and tell me that more people voted for him to start in the All-Star game than Anthony Davis, nigga, please. Fans should stop voting on all accounts for these sports. I don't give a fuck. Don't even let the writers do that shit either. Just go pick some coaches, man, to do this shit or something. Go let Ernie Johnson pick the teams or somebody. Stop letting this shit go in the fans' hands because even in the Pro Bowl, probably spoke on this, Darius Leonard, rookie middle linebacker for the Colts, led the league in led the league in tackles, had 7 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, changed the culture. Probably spoke on this, don't give a fuck. Still gonna reiterate it. Didn't even get invited to the motherfucking Pro Bowl. The fans didn't vote for him. Now ain't that about some bullshit? No offense to Luka. I think he deserves it. I think he should be in the All-Star game. But to pick him to start over somebody like Anthony Davis, and they got him. I think he's the number 2 vote getter in the West behind LeBron. So only the king is keeping this kid from being the top vote getter for the West. That's crazy, man. And shout out to Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak. He leads all Eastern Conference players. And just the simple fact that he was able to do that playing in Milwaukee, because nobody gives a fuck about Milwaukee. Sorry, I don't want anybody to get offended. That's just the way it is. I watch because I fuck with the team. I like him. He's an enjoyable player to watch. But I didn't know the masses was doing that shit because, they just started putting his ass on TV not that long ago. Another NBA news, Harden is scoring even as we speak. Last night, I guess Curry got tired of the Luka Doncic shit too because he hit 11 threes on their ass. Still, and I think he shot over 50% from three-point land. Crazy. That guy is something to marvel. The Spurs are surging, which is expected. It's Greg Popovich. I mean, he bitched about the three-pointers, but, I mean, that's pretty much what the game is. But to hear the pundits and stuff like that, Michelle Beadle and Rachel Nichols and people on TNT say, are you saying that they're surprised by the Spurs? I'm not. They will always compete as long as Greg Popovich is the coach because he will find some way to make this shit happen. And I think if they make the playoffs, he should be the fucking coach of the year. No offense to Budenholzer from Milwaukee or what's the name of the other guy? The coach for the Nuggets or the Kings coach. But if Pop can pull some shit off like that, because he lost his backcourt. When Lonnie Walker and DeJounte Murray got hurt, that's the backcourt. Just picture what the Kings would be like if De'Aaron Fox, most improved player of the year right now, and Buddy Hield, also a greatly improved player, weren't there. Exactly. the Raptors are still putting in work. Kawhi is amazing. I like to see where he goes to. And as far as the free agency goes, me and the homies been talking about this, and I just want to put this on the pod. If you have a player that you're not sure is going to come back to your team, get rid of him so you can have the assets to be a good team. The Pelicans, I'm talking to you. You're getting ready to let Davis go. Fuck it. All right. But I'm just going to put that out there on the table. Don't sit there and just let the guy leave for nothing. Okay? Don't even, what's the fucking purpose if you're going to do that? Don't even draft him then. Shit. You ain't going to pay him or keep him, so what the fuck? Send that nigga to LeBron so he can make it to another finals. Since y'all don't seem to give a fuck, we don't either. But do I got any other NBA news? No, not really. I'll catch y'all again on the next podcast. For Boy, my executive producer Mike Chimney, and myself reborG. Y'all be easy and continue on to continue on. I always knew you could do it. Peace.